My great grandmother's name was Tervez Darakjan, and she was born in Harput, which is Western Armenia. But when I fill out a form or 23andMe, I have to write Central Turkey, but it's Western Armenia. 1915, under the veil of World War I, the Ottoman Turks came into Harput and just killed everyone, razed it to the ground. Her husband was, I believe, murdered before. They took all the men away and said, "Oh, you have to go do these military things over here." So they kind of took all the men away and killed them and separated them from the women and children so they could come into the villages and do what they wanted. And as the story goes, my great grandmother was shot, but she didn't die. And while she was on the ground, the Turks killed 8 of her children while she laid there. And then they left the 9th child, the infant, to starve to death in the crib. And she got up off the ground and took a piece of clothing from each one of the 8 children and then strapped the baby to her back. And she made it out of the village past the death marches, which, if anybody doesn't know what those are, there's a great book by Professor Peter Balakian called The Burning Tigress, which is a really, really difficult read. But it's these accurate accounts of like what was going on and the death marches. I mean, it's just awful. They just chained the women and children together and marched them out in the desert and released the Kurds, who were the enemies of the Armenians, and gave them military coats and horses and allowed them to do whatever they wanted. And women were dropping babies into the tall grass because they didn't have enough food to eat. I mean, it was just like hell on earth, like the worst hell you can possibly imagine. So my great grandmother, because she was thought to be dead, got past those marches to the Euphrates River, and she put the baby on her back and swam the river to safety. And when she got over to the other side, that 9th child, the baby drowned. So, when you really start thinking about things in 3 dimensions and the mechanics of that, you think about that scene in a movie, and you think about hoping you have an actress who can portray that scene. You kind of come to your senses and go, no, this really happened. And so, you also think about like that in 3 dimensions, and you think you have this baby, and like you have to now let the baby go, and like you're in the woods, and you have to bury the baby so the animals don't. I mean, it's just like when you start thinking, it's just like the white of the page, in between the black letters of like the story that I grew up hearing. When you really start thinking about the mechanics, it's insane.